This is ridiculous. So nobody probably got anything out of that live feed because I don't think the damn thing stayed going long enough. It's ridiculous. I don't know. Something up with YouTube, or there's something up with my phone, because that I've never been kicked off of a live feed so many times. I bet you I restarted that 6 or 7 times. I could see a little bit of a glitch on my end all of a sudden. Then after that, it just crapped out. I don't know. It kept kicking me off. So did anybody catch any of that? Here's that little setup. So it's ridiculous. I can't believe that happened. Nobody, I did that not show any of that? It probably didn't. Let's see if we can do that real quick. So what we were doing was, nope, okay. Let's see if it's still in the view. So we took the ball, we threw it over that branch. Now, from where that's at to where the ball drops all the way to the ground, you see we tied a loop, and that's our distance. When that loop reaches the branch, we know that that's the distance that we have, and we need to make sure that the ball has that much room to fall. So what we do is we just take that hook that we made, and I'll actually show you guys. You can't normally just take the ball off, you gotta leave it on there, but for demonstration purposes, we took that loop, we put it straight through the hole, like that, and then over the top of everything. And then it gursts down. I'm starting to lag again, it looks like. So, like we have the ball over it, and as we let the ball drop down, the hook will swing under the branch and grab the rope like this. Like that. And then you pull it back, and the hook keeps a hold of it. So it's probably going to be hard for you guys to be able to see that with it there. Let's see. Should be able to see it good from here. Yeah. Alright, so throw ball's there. The hook's here with me. We need the hook to go to it, grab the string, and pull it back. So it goes. I'm stepping on it. Oops. Alright, when you get there, you kind of let it drop and swing a little bit. And that loop needs to be long enough it'll make it under the branch. Usually it catches a lot quicker, but right there. So you remember, and then you just pull on it and you pull the ball back to yourself. Take the loop out and the hook off. Now you can tie your climb line on here and set your climb line in the other tree, and then just transfer yourself across. But if you look there where we bent those and move them hooks out a little bit, that helps it catch as it's swinging. So as it swings under, with those things being hooked and kind of bent a little bit, I caught it every time last time. Now that I've got you guys close, I can't. It catches a hold, and now you got it. So the thing to remember is you need to make sure you have enough distance to pull it back, and you need to make sure that this loop right here is long enough to make it under, like if you're a big diameter limb, you need a bigger loop. Smaller diameter limb, you can have a very small loop here, but it's got to be able to kind of swing itself under and grab. So it's a real neat little trick for you guys when you don't have time, you're sitting around, you don't have anything going on. Why not fiddle with something like that? Come up with the little grapple hook like that, and kind of mess with it and see if that can save you so much time being able to transfer from tree to tree, or to go ahead and set a rope in a tree that's next to you, um, to set your climb line while you're up there to get to where you're compact and you're in, you know, multiple limbs. So it's a good little trick to have, and it's very simple as far as cost. Like I said, couple dollars, and I got 5 hooks. And you just cut the tips off, mash the barbs in, bend them out a little bit, and you're good. So, what do you guys think? Anybody catch that or get anything from it? Yeah, Eli, it is. The reason that I looked at that was because I was researching transferring from tree to tree. And if you think about it, if you went ahead and you did this, and you were in this tree, and you set your line over here like we did, and you have your double line going around, and you just anchor it off right here. You leave a little slack in this line so that you can take and keep it, you know, around this and retrieve your climbing system. You'll leave your climbing system over here. You'll clip in with like a locking carabiner that like screws and locks, and you'll just make your way across it army style, clipped into it. And then when you get over here, you know, you got your remainder of your climb line that's actually all right down here. After you get over here, then you start, you know, the reason you left a little slack in this line was so that you can start pulling and get that whole system to go around them limbs and back to you. So, but then you take both limbs, you know, when you have it around that, you put a carabiner around both here, and that's when you clip into both those and then work your way across to transfer. I did a video on it, using it in the tree and transferring. It was a long transfer to from a big white pine to a pin oak, and it was like completely horizontal. So it was, I don't know, it was probably a couple years ago, but yeah, it was just something. Like I said, I was working and I ran into that issue, and I thought, well, you know what? That's such a cheap little deal. Why not show everybody? So I used a Fisker's hook for that. No, there's no way you could use a Fisker's hook for, like, I'm talking from tree to tree, like not limb to limb. Long distances, not real close. There's no sense in doing it. If you're real close, you could just throw it, Josh. So I'm gonna try that in my next rig or redirect my. Yeah, it's really neat. Plus, it's really cheap to make one. So if it doesn't work, then the old man's deal. Yeah, definitely. I actually learned it by watching Lawrence Schultz, Fannerman. He did it, and they sell a little grapple hook for throw balls like that, and it's very expensive. So, yeah, that's why I come up with that version, because I refuse to pay excessive amounts of money for a little hook. So, DQMC, what's up, man? How you been? Other than that, I just been fiddling with the zigzag and stuff. I ever show you guys this? Check this thing out. What is this? Is a rope handle. So here's my bungee here. Or no, here, I guess it's. You would take a rope. And I bought it at like a hardware store. It's really weird. So you'll take a rope, just like a figure eight, and you would, you know, pass it up through or whatever. Or no, I think it's the other way, but it's got grooves to show you where they're supposed to go. And I think you go up and then over, and then what it does, I think it's like for horses and stuff, but it creates a bite on the rope and gives you a perfect little handle. So if you took that same setup there and twisted it a couple times, it would create a perfect lock, and you actually have a handle. on the rope. So I think I spent like $4 on it, but the similarities to a figure eight, I think, is what made me want to buy it, because I was like, check that thing out. I could get leverage. So like we were doing there, we put it through. You would take it and turn it once or twice, probably just once, but you could do twice. And then when you bite it down, it should stay kind of locked. I don't know. I don't use a figure eight much, so I think one would have been enough. But yeah, it's a neat little tool. But I've been thinking about using this pawl for rigging a little more, or for a base anchor. So it's the DMM pawl. So I was thinking about anchoring my rope to it and then using it to like as the actual base anchor from spot to spot, and then it would give me another spot to hook in. But how many of you guys run DRT? Like, would it be worth my while to show you? Because I hear a lot of guys that set their rope and then get up into the tree with SRT, but then when they get up there with SRT, they move to DRT. So is there still quite a few people that kind of work trees down like that? Because if so, would be the way that, like, I would run that if I was doing it. I would run my rope up SRT and base anchor or whatever, but then I would run a. Is anybody there still? Yeah. Jared, what's up? I just used your throw ball for a demo. Yeah, so let's say you have your SRT line here, and you climb DRT. So this is how I used to, when I first moved to SRT and I wasn't climbing around, I literally probably used this once or twice, and then I moved to SRT just nonstop. So, but now that I have the zigzag, this would be a pretty nice way to keep a setup and then still climb DRT. So you have your single line. Wish there was some way I could get this over here closer. But on that single line, I have a big rigging prusik. So I would take it and put it on with probably 4 top wraps, and then I would tie like a VT on it, just as many loops as I can. Now, if I wanted to take this system and just I could make this retrievable off of an SRT line. But if you were just wanting to climb it like this, you take your SRT line that you have set up in the tree, you go ahead and you clip in. Now, you would take your DRT setup with your zigzag here, and you would climb this system up the tree all the way up to wherever you wanted to go. You would lock it off and then climb off of your DRT system here without having to set 2 different ropes. You're using what you got. So you would go ahead and take your DRT system, clip it on here, and then climb off of this. I'll show you kind of how it ends up being. So kind of like that. So you're climbing DRT off of that. Now, as you get all the way up, if you want, and you put this system up in there, and it was real high, I would suggest maybe below it, maybe putting a loop as a stopper in case that was to decide to slide for some odd reason. Snap a carabiner in there. But yeah, it gives you a DRT setup, or I have I also have this here that I would use, and this is retrievable. So you take a regular friction saver like I have here, and you took a throw ball and you set your SRT line, and you got it back, and you're base anchored and you're ready to go, but you want to climb DRT. I take something like this, it's a friction saver. I would tie it on, let's see, which one needs to be. The retrieval end is going to be the one that you want crossing over the top. So when you're tying your VT like this, now you want this end, you want the end that's retrievable crossing over the top on the first loop. Back like that. Now I'm pretty sure, hang on, where did I cross that up wrong? There, I tried to tie it backwards looking at you guys. I'll show you it right before I would tie that around with the VT like that, okay? And then I would take that same setup, I would go up into the tree. The bad part is, I got a sewn eye on this damn thing, so it's not gonna let me, but let's say we have this set up. There's the knot, the VT that's run. We went ahead and we went through it. We'll use this like prusik as my pretend climb line for right now. So let's say we're climbing on this and we're up into it. This collapses, we take it, we get it all the way up there where we want it. And we're climbing off of it. This is a bad demo, but when you pull that out and you get a hold of that, you can actually whip that. And if you use the VT right, you can actually retrieve that off of the double line. I think I wrapped it wrong. I should have wrapped this one over the top because it does all the movement. But with the VT, if it's wrapped right, you actually retrieve like a friction saver off of this. So you could run like a prusik like I am here and run like a carabiner and a let's say a carabiner and a micro pulley and make this like a retrievable setup. So what I would do would be, would be a way cleaner setup here, but pull it around like this, and I would do like 4 wraps on top. Let me remember. And we'll cross over, cross over, cross over. Keep crossing them till we get to here. And like I said, you can take a carabiner on one, and then, you know, a micro pulley on the other. And what'll happen is it'll catch on the micro pulley, but it won't catch on your carabiner. So you would do, you know, let's see. All right, so we have that set up, and we made like our own friction saver here with it. We took it, run it up through there, and then this one also clips in. So we clipped into the micro pulley, and we also want to clip in to the rope. That way it's backing this whole system up. So you end up like this, but you're climbing off the micro pulley. You have to, you know, dress the knot and everything, but you're able to get the mechanical advantage of a micro pulley, but you don't have to. I actually hooked them backwards, but you would take this end and you would, let's say, hang on, let me pull this up so I can actually do it. You can see it. You would take like this end and tie a knot in it, and it would pass, you know, the knot will pass through this carabiner, but it won't pass through the micro pulley. So you ended up making yourself like a friction saver with it. So you're pulling it out. if you had your throw ball catcher, it would go through your carabiner like that. Then it would catch onto your micro pulley, and then that would, after it went through this one, I think we should be able to start whipping on it, and you just get to wiggling. And usually, if you wrap it right, which I probably didn't, fiddle with that. That's something you just kind of have to mess with to get it right. Like I said, it's been probably a couple years since I've used it, but using the VT here can get you make it retrievable to get it back. So I imagine there's probably a couple other Prusik knots that can be used in that same fashion to get it to be retrievable off of a single line. But that would be that would be my setup. I would just run the Prusik on it, take it all the way up. As I got up there, I would run off of, you know, this single micro pulley and do it like that. That way I would feel much more secure, and plus you get all the benefits of the micro pulley for, you know, mechanical advantage, and it's so smooth, like with the zigzag and stuff. So I would just keep crossing them up until I got it to there. And this does have, I mean, I guess it could potentially slip. It's not the most absolutely secure knot. I think it is after you get multiple loops up here above 3, and then you get at least 2 crosses here. Then it becomes really, really strong. But like I was saying, you clip your micro pulley in there, and there's your climbing, where you can climb DRT off of an SRT line that's anchored up in the tree. So that would be my setup. I would just fiddle with it if it's something that you want to make retrievable, or go with one of these. These are really, really helpful. So I like this friction saver over the other ones that I have. I do have like a big Buckingham one that's a big strap, and it's kind of a pain. It's not, it's just big and bulky. So that's just my opinion, though. I just wrapped her up and then double from there. Right on. I would be too thin from Buckingham. I try to be a little knowledgeable. I mean, there ain't much I know in life, man. This is all I know. So if I get to sharing anything other than tree knowledge, stop me, because I probably am not in my league. So. I like SRT to climb and double rope for work. Yeah, I can understand that for guys that need it to be retrievable, and you're working around the tree. You should try SRT and doing, you know, canopy anchors, and just make them retrievable, because man, having to move double the rope is so, your guys that I see that go DRT their whole career, their shoulders are just whacked. So it's just so much extra work. Into the scam technique. Yeah, I've checked that out. I kind of used that technique and tried to put it into what I would use, and it's probably a cool technique for like wreck climbing and stuff. Some of the stuff that he shows is neat. Like there's bits and pieces of it that are really like genius. So yeah, he it's a good setup. It really is the scam setup. It's just weird to think that so much can be done with that single piece. Dragon's Picks. How you doing? Where you from? Fucking gave me an axe tonight on his live feed in case won't make sense in the comments. Oh, right on. Cool, Steven. That is bitchin'. Have you tried the Notch Jet Step? No, I have not. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. I mean, from those who have used it, and I know that Camp just came out with their version of the Jet Step, and I've actually heard a little better reviews about the Camp than I have about the Jet Step. So I don't know. I have heard that it kicks out. So that's the reason I don't use this Panton is because it kicked out a lot when you're moving your foot, around. So that's the reason I never use that foot ascender. I may be wrong, but I don't my opinion, climbing technology, just the foot ascender that they come up with is just it's phenomenal. It's just been so perfect. I haven't had any issues with it. It feels like the strapping and the protective webbing and stuff that it's made from, and the design that they use on it seems more comfortable to me than most. So I may be wrong, but my climbing technology one that I have right here, it's better than the other ones I've used. So, and I've used quite a few. So this one here, it's very, 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 very nice. I like this little hard plastic piece. It's like this one felt very weak on the Petzl one. They rip when you try to use them. This one's like I don't know, kind of a button or something, but it's hard. It's got grips and stuff on it. Kind of nice. But yeah, that's the one I use and swear by. But yep. Well, I think I'm gonna do something. Like I said, I found I did find a couple of the stickers that I have. So maybe in the next videos we do maybe a couple giveaways or something, and then I'm also working on. I have a guy that's drawn up a new logo, so we'll have maybe some hats, shirts, and stuff like that. Some more helmet slaps, stickers. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, I never really had my own logo drawn up. I just basically would use my stills and then pictures and then put, StihlBorn over top it, StihlBorn Army or something. But I think I don't even know if I have one on my helmet. Let's see. Yeah, I do. Okay. There they are right there. That's me right there with the power lines and this big old chunk we're rigging out over this brand new sidewalk that they just put down, but probably hard to see. Yeah. But those are the stickers that I have. These here. I don't have these anymore. The company that was making them and selling like my shirts and stuff like that, they closed down and then never paid me, and then shut everything down and closed their sites and their personal pages and everything. So yeah, that's just, we don't really have merch no more. Where'd you say you was? Minnesota. Oh, right on. Bill Coleman. How you doing, Bill? I don't have any climbing gear. Well, that's fine. I feel like things that I have learned in climbing, I use in everyday life with so many things. Maybe tying something, or the way I store something, or handle something. So, and plus, I would think that if I didn't climb trees, it would be something that would interest me to watch because of the risk and the adrenaline to it. So, I think 17 on a live stream is a new record. Well, we used to knock out some live feeds. We had a couple good ones once, but then we had this set to where I was going live on the weekends, and I would make sure Buckin was done with his, because sometimes he runs really long, and I would make sure his were done and make sure there's a little bit of time for people to kind of chill, maybe get a bite to eat and stuff, and then, rest for a little bit, and then I would kind of try to do mine. But there's been a few new channels that have kind of popped up, and they kind of do theirs right now, and after his a lot of times, so I don't want to compete, so that's, ooh, we hit 20. My first time live chat. Oh, right on, Bill. That's awesome. Wait, I am done stuffing my face. Sweet! Right on, what'd you have to eat? What you eating? I use a carpenter tool belt for my baller belt. Why not? Right on, yeah. Hell yeah. That would work. I don't see why it wouldn't. I use the suspenders that I use on my saddle actually come from Lowe's. I bought them for like $14, I think, is what I paid, and they're awesome. I mean, I have to buy another pair. I've about worn them out, but yeah, for $14, I think they're meant to like hold a painter's, like a carpenter's belt or something up. So same thing, Dragon. I'm just gonna call you Dragon. Oh, all right. Now it just got a hell of a lot cooler in here. What up, Greg? Junk? You eating junk? Right on. Yeah, I procrastinated, and I'm gonna have another one of them nights where I sit out here with you guys and do a live feed for hours. Well, not for hours. I sit out here cleaning for hours because I had to weld up like a new. I welded up a new spare tire mount for my trailer, and I just sharpened the 362 and that other fake orange toy saw that I have, starts with an H. I don't know what, something like Husku or something like that. Varna. But yeah, then I end up going inside and I realize I gotta go in town and go get something to eat. But it's almost routine anymore, so it's not like it's a big deal. See what I come up with, Jared, for my Nia Cinder? Well, Greg appreciates this too. Look at this hodgepodge of shit. So, quickie link. $1 bungee. Yeah, cheap bungee. There's that Panton. And then check out the snug fit I was able to get. I spun that around, and I was able to just get. You cool with that, Dragon? Right on. I was able to get a pretty snug fit there, and then where I took the rest of these, I doubled this bottom one up and then clipped the beaner. Well, now the beaner's on the back side of the foot ascend, or yeah, of the ascender. So I have all this space for the rope to travel, and I won't get any unnecessary friction from any of this. Then I just clip in my foot loop. So clip her in. I think I got it adjusted out now. I should get a pretty good bounce when I take my foot and lift it up. Yeah, you can see the foot ascender travels from, crotch level to damn near to my chest. So pretty good action off of it, and as long as the panting don't kick out like crazy, it'll be worth it. Am I lagging again? Stupid. Stepped up the design. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, if you can remember, I had that bungee the other direction, like that little knot there was back here, and then we had like a little bit of space in that area to where it was turning this thing as it would go. So when I spun it around and just wasted a bunch of zip ties, but yeah, I ended up, the bottom parts were I was stoked about, because all you have is that gap that's there, like this little gap area here, and you don't have you don't have no space. There's just no space there. So no matter what it is that you try to hook onto there, unless it's like designed specially for that little lip, it ends up getting in the way of the rope here. And then you can't open this. So yeah, pretty stoked about the way that came out. And how quick it is. I can break everything down and it's not like permanently attached. I clip that off. And then I got my foot loop to use with the Gree system. So yeah, pretty stoked about it. I seen a good comment. Oh, let's see. Oh, what's up, Sean? I'm like, you find Jake? No, he's still missing. He's like Waldo. I'm like, have you ever used an extension cord reel for throw line? Works awesome. No, I haven't. That's a pretty good idea. I use I don't know if it showed in the video, but I put all mine on like a spool like this, and then just wrap it up when I'm done. Take the ball off, and I keep it stored in a bag. So, if any of you missed it, we did a trick thing with a treble hook where we turned it into a grapple and retrieved the throw ball when it goes over a limb, so you can do transfers. But you just have to go back if you want to see it. But let's see. Haas and Saka, watch out. I'm telling you, I'm gonna start selling that podunk looking thing for like $7, and I probably make 4 off of it. What's up, man? I'm 17 and I'm getting into trees. What's something you know now and you wish you would have known when you first started? Despite your surroundings and the people you work with, there's never a stopping point when it comes to learning. I've also been kind of victim of I'm around. Okay, there's a big difference between somebody who gets into this has a passion for it, or a guy that gets into it and he knows that he can make money, and he's just looking to get the money and get out. Now, if you have a passion for it, there's never a stopping point on learning. When you'll work for other companies, they'll tell you don't bother with this or don't bother with that. You know, my time, my time, my time. Trust your gut. Do it your way. But don't try to waste your boss's, time. But at the same time, you need to evolve and get better every day too. So never stop learning. Always look for the next thing. There's always a trick you can learn. There's always something else. And then other than that, I would just say don't be bullheaded and follow the safety guidelines. I spent more than 24 years climbing without one mistake, and just recently last year fell and thought I crippled myself for the rest of my life. Now, some people may think that I'm exaggerating when I say that, but I didn't want to air my dirty laundry out on here. I tried to show as much as I could, but I killed my spirit, all my motivation, and I thought I ruined what I had built basically my whole life because I got focused on production and my safety wasn't my first priority, which should always be it. You can't make money when you can't go home. So, always just stay safe. Wear your hard hat. Stay tied in twice. Look to always better yourself every day, and then trust your gut. If you're the day you're not scared, of what you're doing and you're not worried and you don't have fear, you should go home. You shouldn't work that day. If you're not fearful of what you're about to do and don't understand and kind of respect the danger, then I'd kick rocks for the day. There's no sense in doing it because you get yourself hurt or killed. So I've been climbing for about 3 months. David, you got to start somewhere, man, and just work at it, and you'll get it. So I did break and bought the Gecko aluminum spikes. All right on, Josh. You like them? Very happy with the bike. Cool. The big reel is fast. I'll have to check that out, Bill. Run, my tip for tree work is run. Right on. What's up, Chris? JC still here? Put a drill on the end of that throw ball setup. Oh my. You could reel that thing up pretty quick, huh? Yeah, right. I will get the biggest damn knot started. I'm not doing it. I asked Trevor, and he said, always trust my gut. Would you say that's really... It's very important. It's very important. No one knows your skill level. No one knows... Let's just be honest. Check this out. This is what I keep all my files and stuff in. I took my silverware thing out from inside. Brought it out here. But, you're the only one that knows your skill level. You're the only one that knows what you dealt with the night before. What you've got going on in your head. Let's say it's not so much it's a scary job, or it's one that could kill you, or anything like that. Maybe it's just you don't have a clear head that day. And it happens. Life happens. So this is no normal job. This isn't, okay, I had a bad day. Your bad day in this line of work could kill somebody. Your bad day in this line of work could shut your boss's whole company down. If you're the boss, it could put you in debt for the rest of your life. These are the things you have to remember, but at the same time, you can't let them dictate your whole thought process and just make you crazy. You got to find that even ground there, especially when you move on to trying to be the boss or doing your own thing. But you just want to make yourself work at climbing. Just learn those basics. And when I say basics, I do mean learning a taut line or a Blake's hitch. Sometimes you get up in a tree and you drop your gear and you need to get down, or emergency happens. You need to know knots. So you need to be able to, let's say you have no gear. You need to be able to get down out of a tree. So an exit plan is always super important. So start at those basics, work your way up from there, and make yourself irreplaceable. Make your boss need you, and go from there. Just worry about your safety, then worry about his production and his money. So preach. I'm trying. Just got home from a long weekend at the tire plant. Right on. Ice cold beer in my hand. Hi from Texas. I'm old school. I still climb on closed system through a crotch to a taut line. I did that for 15 years, man. So one of these days I'll upgrade to a zigzag. Well, I mean, you don't even have to upgrade to a zigzag, but you could upgrade to something. A zigzag is very expensive. I understand why somebody can't just go out and buy a zigzag, but you could go out with not too much money and buy this. This is the new wave of climbing. This is moving from a taut line to developing mechanical advantages. You buy a simple prusik. That's all that is. An eye, 2 carabiners, and a hitch climber. So and you climb off this system. I would look this up if you have time. Look up hitch climber. A ton cheaper. You're going to be able to tin your slack with one hand. You're going to be able to do things that you could not do with that taut line. I promise. There, you can have rope walking systems. You can add, frog walking systems. There's, being able to run a 3-to-1 so that when you get out on a limb, you want to rope walk or you want to limb walk yourself back and tin your slack. You could do that with one hand and have no problem. The ability to tin your slack with one hand beats all. When you're climbing and you're hooking yourself up into a tree and you're trying to move and you got to hold on with one hand, how the hell are you supposed to be able to move your rope or advance your knot? With this system, these 4 simple items, you'll change your climbing leaps and bounds. I promise that this setup here changed me as a climber more than anything I've ever used. So the advancement to this was a hard one to understand at first. I actually tried to get them to build, like with my own ropes and stuff, build my own, and it didn't come out right because I wanted to like climb off of like a kind of like a Blake's hitch sort of system, but make it with a micro pulley. I finally just stopped and said, I'll buy the hitch climber or any kind of a micro pulley. I had another one here, this notch one. This micro pulley, all they do is after you have your knot here with this, the micro pulley just helps push this knot and collapse it and give you a mechanical advantage. So check that out. I promise it's worth your time. I'm not happy with the Climb Right pads, but I use them anyway. Yeah, I just don't think I could ever switch from my big bucks. Those double big bucks are amazing, and I found the lightest spikes I could possibly find, which are completely aluminum, and they don't weigh nothing. So my pads are a bit heavy, but I'll take that over an uncomfortable pad any day. So I use the Velcro double big bucks. Now the silverware drawer is a freaking mess. Yeah, I know it is. Hopefully Tuesday I will get out on the tree work. Right on. My dad's been climbing for 20 years. That's cool, David. Me and you have a lot in common. My dad raised me and my brother as a climber, and that's who taught me the basics. And I was guilty of only advancing my knowledge to the point of where my dad knew. I learned a trick here and there from somebody, but I climbed on a taut line and I did what my dad did, and I got the jobs done. We got them done all the time. But now I get them done and I don't feel dead and exhausted, and it's just so many things are easier. But I was guilty of, I spent, even after I learned the basics, I spent another 10 years just using them basics and nothing else. So before I realized, wow, there's a whole world out there of guys that um, maybe they're not willing to give you their knowledge or share it, but you can. I'm the type of guy, if I can visually watch something, I can pick it apart and figure it out. So YouTube was kind of a godsend. I started to focus and I would rewind everybody's videos and zoom, and I would pick them apart piece by piece. And I didn't have anybody to teach me or show me any of these tricks. So I've never been. I was taught the basics. My dad taught me how to put on spikes, how to use a buck strap, how to tie in, and how to rig with like out of a natural crotch. That's it. That's it. I mean, he taught me to use a maze dam rope puller. That's probably the only thing that I still use to this day that he used, and I still swear by it. But yeah, I didn't advance myself for. I wasted 10 years that I should have learned a lot of things in that 10 years, and I just did. I didn't know this was out here, so. I mean, yeah, you could easily do that. I mean, if it's something that this isn't for everybody. Some people can't handle the stress of having to put your because you are gonna put your life on the line all the time, all the time. There's days where the climber's the glory guy, you know, that Monday morning quarterback where he rolls up and it's a wide open yard and all he's got to do is climb up there and just start cutting pieces and he looks like the man, but and it's a big beautiful wide open green tree with nothing to hit. But then the next day you show up and you're in a rotten tree that's overhanging someone's greenhouse or their glassed room and it literally wants to crumble. And you got to climb it. You got to tie into it. You've got to come up with these crazy ideas. To be good in this, you have to be very, I think, inventive as far as coming up with a game plan. And you also need to be able to play the bad scenarios out in your mind so that you don't run into them. You may think you have a great idea, but let's sit down for a second before you do it and think, what is the absolute worst thing that could happen? I'm not saying what could. I'm saying the worst thing. Then look at the bad things that could happen or the little mistakes and this and that. But play all those scenarios out. If there's a couple in there of those scenarios that say this could go wrong, fix that. Fix that. Put another rope on it. Put a tagline on it. You know, tie into something else. There's just your job as a climber and doing this is you're in risky business. That's what you're doing. This is a risky business. You need to eliminate any of those risks that you can at any time. If you can take away a risk, you make your day easier. So instead of bear climbing, free climbing your way up a tree and then tying in after you get up there, no buck strap, you're the greatest on spikes. Why? Why? Let's say you hit a rotten spot, the bark comes off, and you go falling 20, 30, 40 feet. When you could have took a throw ball through your line up there, set your climb line, and climbed up there and been tied in. I see it all the time on YouTube. I do not agree with it. I think it's very silly to uh, my experience with guys getting hurt. I'd say 75% of the injuries I hear of happen from the ground to the canopy on the way up. So because you're not tied in, you're climbing your way up to get tied in to become safe. Why not be safe on the way to getting safe? I don't. I may be just pissing in the wind, but you know, I guess I repeat that a lot. Don't you go to GS that are completely 100%? Oh, right on. Thanks, Chris. My dad says that because he fell and hurt his back. Yeah, I, I have ribs still sticking out that are like poking like this. My sternum's separated, so my sternum here is no longer together. It's in two chunks. So I have the ribs that poke out here. My lower back's messed up, and I couldn't walk at all. So, like I said, I thought I'd cripple myself. So, I'm I'm just happy to be here, be able to cross my legs, get up and walk, and climb a tree again. So. He's a dad fearing for his son. At the end of the day, it's your life, and you need to. Yeah, yeah, and you gotta just respect that your dad is gonna feel that way, no matter what it is you do. This business can be done safe, and it you can have. I couldn't do anything else. This is the greatest job in the world, in my opinion. To have a different playground every day, a different work site every day, to see new things every day, to get an adrenaline rush, to do a job that keeps your attention. I'm a type of person that I need focus or I'll lose my attention and I'll get off onto something else. The job keeps my attention and it's just fun. So I understand why anybody would want to do it. And I personally love it, but I do also know it isn't for everybody. Yeah, I really like the Blake's over the taut line hitch, but I used a zigzag now. Yeah, see, I actually never used the Blake's hitch. I always used the taut line. That's what my dad taught me. And I climbed on two under, one over. That was it. That was it's a very touchy system. So, um, that's just what I had. That's what I learned. That's what I did. So, I'm new. I'm new to climbing. Didn't really have a mentor. Just reading books, watching videos, practicing every day while laid off as a plumber and practicing. Okay, if I was to give advice to anybody that's just getting into this and they're looking to, absolutely not. Chris is right. There's nothing wrong with it, but find somebody close. Okay, this is what I did. Like I said, I wasted 10 years, didn't learn anything. I found Facebook. I found the guy who started Tree Life on Facebook, Jaden Anderson. He showed me August Honeyke. Then the floodgate was opened up. I found out you can make videos, and that just made the job fun again. But then I learned about all this gear and the crazy ways of doing things and new techniques, and I was hooked. I mean, for a job that I've seen done my whole life, and I just I was so burnt when I found Facebook and all these groups and all this new gear and all this stuff. It blew my mind, and I was so just knee deep back into it. I mean, I couldn't think of anything else. It's all I did. So then I found out they were doing a climbers camp out in Tennessee. It was in Memphis, Tennessee. So I live in Missouri, right? Up well, it's St. Francis County. I'm pretty much in the middle. So the middle of Missouri. I drove to Memphis, Tennessee, to a climbers camp out, and hung out with a few really just knowledgeable guys, and I learned more on that trip and that day than any other time in my life. Those guys did more for me than they'll ever realize. As far as I climbed to my first all gear rope, I climbed to my first rope wrench. They started showing me things that I had never even thought about, and then man, when I got home from that trip, I just get the wallet out, get on tree stuff, and get to buying things. I mean, I need this, I need this, I need this. I was so hooked from that point on. Those get-togethers, join some groups on Facebook. There's you have to be able to deal with the a lot of tree guys are assholes. I don't know why that is. They're very insecure and they feel the need to belittle you and like talk down to you. Don't put any emphasis or any, you know, thought or care into anyone else's opinion, especially when it's negative. But there's get-togethers and there's rec climbs and there's stuff like that. And I promise you, the things that you will learn in that one day will blow your mind. So look for those things. Try to get with somebody. Let me see who that was. Joseph Stewart. Where are you from, Joseph? What's your advice for a self-taught climber trying to find a mentor? No luck. A park system and have no support for training. What is your Orist? Where are you from? I got the big bucks with the angled shanks for my spikes. I love. Right on. Yeah, I think I'm the only one that I've ever seen that has the ankle pads for spikes. Has anybody else ever seen anybody use those? I have the Weaver ankle pads. They go next to the spike on the side of the spike where they go against your ankle, and it's just a pad that goes there. They made my spikes so much more comfortable. Most of them I have the same boat except mechanics and climb on the weekends. I've tried to same thing at the good old University of YouTube. Hell yeah, Dragon! I'm telling you, you just need the basics, man. You just need somebody to help you with the basics, and when you find the basics and you get some of that stuff down, you the rest every day you'll learn something new. So yeah, I have done tree work for 19 years, and I'd say majority of my learning is from being self-taught. Right on. My first line of work was tower technician, believe it or not. Oh, right on. Well, you've dealt with the heights, so last video was cool. Oh, you like that? Right on, Jeff. Yeah. Only problem was that is I ended up freaking getting copyrighted because apparently that song that Josh used was not copyrighted or was or whatever. So I got copyright strike and yeah, whatever. It is what it is. A dead tree about to crumble is never someone or something. Ah, no way. I don't care how everything. Yep. Yeah, that's very true, Chris. You could have a great game plan on the ground, but it may change by the time you get to the canopy. Wouldn't even climb it. Amen. Who are some tree tubers that you personally watch? Um, let's say we're looking for somebody. Look for the Educated Climber. His channel, really good. Climbing Arborist. His channel's really good. I'm trying to give you channels that would help you learn from the ground up. Um, but there's tons of guys. I mean, so many of the people in these comments here run really good YouTube channels and make good videos and are just whether they maybe some of them don't make videos, but they are amazing. Just tree guys, girls. I, we have a really great group here, so I would try Educated Climber or Climbing Arborist, and then just hang around in the comments. Check out the people that kind of hang out here and check their channels out. I have recently just started a channel review series, so I'm going to be reviewing other tree guys' channels, and so there'll be more of that. Maybe you can pick up a few new channels by me doing that too. So, and if you go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell. I do in my community page or my community section in the channel. I do try to feature other channels as much as I can. So you can also check that. I've, the 2511. I've ran one, but I'm a steel guy. I actually run the steel 150, and I love it. My dad used the 2511. He's older and it's light, but personally, I use the 200T. I like the power. Yep. I climbed taut line many years and it's nice to know for the pitch. Yes, it is. It's a must in my opinion. I just read a post where a guy was up in the tree and he had dropped something when he got up there. Or no, his ground guy actually cut his rope, so he didn't even have a way to get down. Some I don't even remember but he was stuck up there. And if he didn't know the knots to tie a Blake's hitch and get down, he'd have been stuck up there. So, Craig, what's going on? We should start a mentor network. Find people that know people through the. Yeah, yeah, I think that's awesome. I let's see what West Virginia. Well, what I'll do is when I do these live feeds and stuff like that, I'm always asking people where they're from. So, and if you're in the comments, you can easily go ahead and look at it and find a guy that's around you and rec climb as much as you can. Um, you may have to travel a day, but I promise you it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it for you and advancing your career. You should really invest in yourself as far as that goes. Try to find that person that's going to give you that hand that's going to take you to the next level. So I've been blessed to run across a few of them people that they'll never know how much they like completely changed my just my life in general. So giving you Buck and Billy Ray vibes. Oh no. I'm about to bust out in the drifter for you. I just need a bunch of sawdust to throw on my head. Yeah, that mentor network, there may be something to that. I mean, whether it be a Facebook group, because those are easier to kind of network between people. Maybe maybe Jared, if you get time, you want to start something like that up or a group. I don't know. I think it's got a lot of potential. I just the biggest group that I know of on Facebook would be Tree Life. There's a lot of good guys in there, and there's a lot of jerks too. So you just have to take it with a grain of salt. Josh Man is very funny. Reg Coates too. Yeah, Reg is a really good channel. Very sensitive. Yeah, I don't know. At times I feel like he's sensitive, but then I feel like I don't. Does he even have an emotion? Because he is so monotone. And but my God, is the guy good? He's a fucking wizard. I dig Reg. I dig his dry sense of humor and his say it how it is kind of attitude. Hello from Wyoming. How we doing, Mike? Massachusetts. Guys, I think I've been out here for I don't even know. We literally crashed YouTube one time and then started back up. So I really didn't mean for this to go this long, but I appreciate the hell out of you guys giving me your time, like always. And check this out. I want to show you this. I don't know if I've ever showed you. Oh, I just blew that light. I took one of these old Tonka trucks, shook this thing out like this. A while back, my dad just got this one. I think he dug it out of the ground somewhere, and I cleaned it, and I'm gonna redo it. But I used to have a truck that looked like this, and this was all funked up originally, but it's all dirty and dusty. But it is all pretty underneath it if I clean it. And if you check out this old truck, I redid it. I put a wood bed on it. There's my dad's old company name. But yeah. So, like I said, I'm the type of guy I gotta have 1,000 different projects or I can get myself in trouble. So, one of the many projects is to make this old, nasty, rough-looking thing look something like that. Maybe I'll make that one look like our old 1-ton that we used to have. Guys, thanks. Appreciate you. And stay safe. I'll catch you soon. Be good.